Hello, everyone. Today we will be working on assignment number 9. We will also be starting with problem number 1. So I will open up a new part file and change my units to millimeters. Now for this part here, I think it would be best to make half of it. We'll focus on that, making the front half, and then once we have that half, we can mirror it over across to the other half. So I'll start at the center with this rectangular shape. And then also I will make this part after this ear with the hole. And then we will loft in between to get this geometry. So I will start a sketch on my front plane. Let me just zoom in here so you can see what we'll be looking at. I need to start by making this rectangular shape here. So I'll make a rectangle. Its width is going to be half of the overall, so half of 65. We can type that in as 65 over 2. And then its height is still going to be 25. Now let's make this hole that we have here by making a circle. We know the circle is going to be radius 4. Change this to radius 4 because its diameter is 8. And the center of this circle in the Y position is, in the Y direction, is 25 over 2 because it's in the center there. And then also, if our origin is here, then in the X direction, we're moving 25 over 2 as well. All right, so now that circle is set. Now let's finish this by extruding it. Let's extrude this backward. I want to have, let's see, it's being a little weird here. Okay, this is what I want to extrude, the shaded region. And I want to extrude that a total of 5 units based on this view here. You know, this thickness is 5, not 50. 5. There you go. Okay, so now we can focus on making the hexagon shape into this surface. So let's do a new sketch on this surface. And I want to do a polygon. So I want to do an inscribed circle. An inscribed circle means that the circle that we're referencing for the size of our polygon is within the polygon itself, which I'll show you just an example right now. As you can see, this circle is inside the polygon itself, and that's what we're using to dimension it. So that's the one we want. Um, Whereas a circumscribed circle is the opposite. The circle that we're referencing for the overall size is drawn outside of our polygon. As you can see here, now that circle's on the outside. So we know we want an inscribed circle. We want a total of 6 sides because it is a hexagon. And its center is going to be the same center as this circle here. Let's make sure we click on that center. And let's also rotate this in a way where the top and the bottom are flat. Now that we made that, let's go ahead and change the dimension of the circle, which it gives to us. It tells us it's a diameter of 12 units, so we know the radius is 6. Now let's cut this out with an extrude cut. And the depth that we want to extrude cut is 2.5 millimeters. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's finish that. And there's our cut. So now that we've made that center portion, I want to focus on creating another face. We have this first face for the loft that we're going to do later. Now I need another face to do that loft with. So I want to create this piece here. So the view that we'll be using for that is down here. We get this view. So to make this that piece, we need to do we need a reference plane. So we'll hop on over to our reference geometry, find our plane, and our first reference will be this face here. So we need to know the distance between this face and this face, which I believe is given to us somewhere on this drawing. Yes, it's given to us right here. So the total distance is 27.5 units. So we can type that in. 27.5 units in that direction. That's the plane that we want to be drawing on. So I will finish that. Now we have a plane. Let's start a sketch on the plane we just made. So again, this is going to be the the part that the view that we're looking at to make this drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do, I will recreate this shape. I'll just trace it out because I want to be drawing this, but I have to rotate this 50 degrees. So first I drew this shape. Now I will delete some of the constraints it made while I was drawing that. I believe I have to delete these as well. Now let's see if it'll let me rotate it. I want to rotate this entity. And the center of rotation you can see is right here at this point. Even though it's rotated, they still share this same point. So this is where this point, this top right corner here is where we're rotating about. And we want to rotate this 50 degrees. So let's type in 50. And that's what it does. So let's finish that. Now you can see this is rotated 50 degrees from where it originally was. However, everything is still the same size and length. What I could do is I could just roll this view a little bit so you guys can see that it is the same thing as seen in our drawing. So I'll just roll this, and now you can see what we have, what we're trying to replicate here. Let me turn this back around. Okay. So now we need to look at another view so we can finish making that part. I believe this is going to be helpful to us. So what we need to do is we need to extrude this in this direction away from the part that we're making. And I need to find out how far to extrude. Given on this view here, 30 units is the number we're looking for. So I'll extrude this 30 units. We should now make the hole that's in there and also these edges. You could use a fillet for these edges, but since I'm making a sketch on this face to cut out the hole either way, I'll do the same thing I'll use the same sketch to cut out these edges. So I'll do a sketch on this face, and I want to put the hole there. I know the hole is centered about the middle of this part, because it's 15 and 12 and a half, so it's right in the middle. So I can use the midpoint lines and make some reference lines to find my center. Should be here. This will be 5 units, or no, yes, 5 units in radius. So 5 units there. So now we can, or actually, let's do these edges here while we're here. For those, we could do a perimeter circle. Our first point is tangent to that, second there, and the third point is simply my radius, um, which is 10 for the radius. Before we change that, let's see if we can't use an arc. No, I don't believe that would work as well. First, before I make those arcs, I'm going to trace this shape here. That way I have some lines to lock onto with this perimeter circle, and it doesn't just wander off on me. So now I have these lines here, and they're fixed in place based off these constraints. So when I change this radius, hopefully the only thing that changes is this circle. So again, this is radius 10. That worked out. Let's do the same thing down here. Let's make another. This time I'll try it with the 3-point arc. So one here, tangent there, and then finally my radius. Has to change to 10. However, these points did not change. I was hoping they would have. So let's trim this here so it doesn't get too ugly on us. And now let's do the same thing we did using a perimeter circle. Again, this radius is 10. And again, we can trim the pieces that we're not going to use. And then finally also trim these edges here. So we're only left with these 3 shapes. Trim this as well. Let's cut this out. So extrude cut. Up to next will be just fine for this. So that's the shape that it creates. Now we have to loft. We have to use the loft function to create this geometric shape in between these 2 faces. So let's go on over to our loft. The first profile we want to select is this face. The second is this face. And there you go, you connect your geometries in that manner. I believe that's the only thing you have to select here. So it gives us a preview in yellow based on how it's going to look. So let's check that off. Now we have to finish, or let's hide this plane just to make this a little cleaner. We have to finish this part by mirroring this piece over to the other side. And the way you do that is by, in my case, I'm going to search it up on this command bar, my mirror. We'll go ahead and hit that. the mirror face slash plane that we want to use is this one, because we're going to mirror this over to the other side. And then the body that I want to mirror is this one. So as you can see by the yellow preview given here, what it's going to do is mirror what we currently have over to the other side. So then I can hit OK. So it looks like that mirror worked successfully. Go ahead and minimize this again. So to me, this doesn't look 100% correct. I think I made this upside down. So if I flip this to this view, then I could see that I do have the correct part. I believe I just made mine upside down there. So based on this view here, let me rotate this a little bit. So we're not quite done. We still have a few edges to fillet, to fillet, and those are going to be shown in these views here. So I need to go find my fillet function. Let's flip this around to its backside. So it tells us that there are four fillets of radius 5, and there are also four of radius 10. So the fillets that are of radius 5, we'll go ahead and type in 5 there. Let's select those edges that it's wanting us to fillet, not the face, the edge. We'll delete that. Make sure you click on the edge. This is the other one as well. And then it's a little bit hard to see, but there are some edges that are filleted down here. So this edge we will fillet, and then this one as well. If you make a mistake by selecting the wrong face or the wrong edge, that's okay. Click on it under this box and then delete it and try again. So those are those four edges. Let's go ahead and finish that. And then finally, we have four more edges, but these are different radius. So we'll go back and change our radius to 10. So we have this one here, this one here. And then also the same edges on the bottom for those two. So we have that guy and this guy. Minor details, but they have to be done. Okay, so now all of our edges are filleted as shown in the drawing. I'll just zoom out here. Let's take a look at this one last time. And that is it for part number 1.